Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some PathOfExile discussion. Today I wanted to talk about items that are listed in Awakened Sextants. These have been a recurrent problem in recent times in PathOfExile, and it seems like the trade site is treating them in a really weird way right now. Now you'll notice here that just for testing reasons, I listed an Omen of Blanching at 10 Awakened Sextants. The PathOfExile trade site considers this to be a price of 43 Chaos. The actual fair market price on Awakened Sextants is 44 to the Divine Orb at the moment. Even more obnoxious than this, you'll notice that my listing, which was only up for a very short time in order to record this PSA video, is appearing in trade below those that are listed at 40 Chaos, below those that are listed at 43 Chaos, and so on and so forth. Actually, this should not be even in the top 100 listings, but it's been able to be pushed to the very top of the list. The fundamental thing causing this to happen is that Awakened Sextants are in a really volatile state right now price-wise. They have been exploding in price over recent days. What I think is going on here is that there's a large number of players who have finished everything they want to achieve through Sanctum. These are not people who are playing Sanctum because they love Sanctum content. They're playing it because they want to trade for a Mage Blood, they want to trade for a Headhunter, they want to trade for insert chase item here. They've already achieved that. And now at this point, they've completely sworn off running the Sanctum again this league, and as a result, they're getting into mapping. This means that these players now want specific Sextants because they're probably running highly juiced content, and this has caused both a big decrease in supply of Awakened Sextants at the same time as an increase in demand for them. As a result, prices on them are extremely unstable and unstable in an upward direction. The price of Awakened Sextants has increased by a good third in a few days, and unfortunately, the trade site can't keep up with this. One of the main things here is that Chaos Orbs and Divine Orbs tend to stabilize against each other first, and Awakened Sextants in all leagues stabilize against them a bit later, but this league it's extremely late. Now, one of the things that's happened in the past when this has come up is that the trade site has become largely unusable because a very large number of listings in Awakened Sextants have been catapulted to the top of listings. What appears to be happening as a way to combat that, and I'm not absolutely certain about this, but it appears that when you do a search for an item, a consumable like an Omen of Blanching or whatever it might happen to be, it seems like you only have a 1 in X chance to get Awakened Sextant listings showing at all. I needed to refresh many times in order to see my own listing, even though the trade API usually refreshes as soon as you leave an instance. So what I had done is I'd put this item in a tab that listed at 10 Awakened Sextants. I'd then gone into the Delve Mines. Normally that would be sufficient in order to make my trade API update and make it so that I could find my own listing, but it didn't, not even when I searched only for listings that were posted by my own PathOfExile account. I then came back a few times, did another search, and eventually after about 3 or 4 minutes of doing this, it showed up. So how do you avoid these listings? Let's say you wanted to trade for an Omen of Blanching right now and you did not want to have to deal with any listings that are in Awakened Sextants coming up to the top of your trade interface. What you do is you go here to the buyout price and you set that it must be in Chaos or Divine Orbs. The trade site isn't perfect. It does sometimes get Divine Orb prices a little bit wrong in Chaos Orbs. And so if, for instance, the fair market price at that moment for a Divine Orb is 230 Chaos, you might see a listing that is 0.2 Divine Orbs treated as actually being more than 47 and less than 48 Chaos. The thing is that these errors are not generally super exploitable, whereas the Awakened Sextant errors tend to be so big that they are exploitable. So if you do this search, but you have that setting on so that it only lists things that are in Divine Orbs or Chaos Orbs, then you'll get rid of all of the listings made in Awakened Sextants, most of which you don't want to see. It's not like every single person that lists things in Awakened Sextants is dishonest and trying to deceive you with their prices. Some of them are just mappers who want to get paid out in Awakened Sextants for their loot. But those people's listings tend to move quickly if they're reasonably priced, but listings that are reasonably priced in Awakened Sextants tend to move really quickly, whereas listings that are not reasonably priced but that are rocketed to the top of the trade search by this mistake that's made by the trade site, these are just really frustrating to deal with. So that's a workaround, but if you do see something listed in Awakened Sextants, do keep in mind they are 44 to the Divine now and they're probably only going to go up from here. May your trade interactions have interesting results.